everyone. We are so glad to be out here. I am a huge fan of TED Talks and the ideas and inspiration that get shared in spaces like this. But to be honest, never in a million years would I have imagined myself to give a TED Talk. Actually, correction, never in a million years would I have imagined that I would be giving a TED Talk with my husband, who was once just a guy in my college that I used to have a major crush on.
Here's a fun fact. We both met in college where we were studying to be pharmacists. Then we left it all behind to pursue our dream job, being paid to travel.
That's right. Basically, me and my husband get to go on honeymoon after honeymoon and be paid for it. And the best part is, it's been 11 months since we started this venture, and we've already been to 14 Indian states, 2 countries, and have worked with some of the biggest brands in India. But before we tell you how we accomplished all of this in such a short period of time, let us tell you who we are. So, hello everyone, my name is Prachi.
And I'm Harsh, and together we're 2 tickets to freedom. We're travel bloggers, digital content creators, and entrepreneurs. We started sharing our travel journey on Instagram around 11 months back, and it has gone from just being a hobby to being our full-time jobs and also a business. Now you must be wondering, how do you really monetize this thing? How do you earn from social media? Prachi, could you help us out here?
Sure. So let me tell you what we do for work. Our work basically includes everything from photography, videography, editing, to brand negotiation, deal cracking, creative writing, creation of videos, production, and everything that you don't see, which goes on behind the scenes. And how do we monetize this? Well, we work with brands and companies who would like to sponsor us and our travels and basically get access to our audience through our page, 2 Tickets to Freedom. When we started this venture out, we had a lot of doubts in our mind. How do you even start being a travel blogger? Is it possible to earn from this? How much time does it take to earn from this? And so many other questions. So Harsh, you want to take some?
Absolutely. Let's start with this one. How did 2 pharmacists who have no idea how digital media really works start getting paid to travel? Let's start with how we became pharmacists. Let's start with my story. So I was pretty confused about what I want to do in life. I was jumping fields, thinking I'll do engineering and this and that. Eventually, and trust me, very randomly, I stumbled upon a brochure and ended up doing pharmacy from NMMS in Mumbai.
I too very randomly ended up in the pharmacy field. When I was a child, I loved being in front of the camera, dressing up, and having my mom click my pictures. But when I grew up, I thought I had to do something serious, so I started preparing to become a doctor. But then one of my friends, she asked me why I wasn't considering pharmacy since it's basically the same entrance exam and you don't even have to study that hard. So I thought, okay, that sounds interesting. Maybe I will become a pharmacist, and that's how I ended up in the same college that Harsh was studying at. But I am 4 years his junior, so I was in my first year and Harsh was in his last year. I saw him around campus a lot and I immediately developed a crush, but I didn't know how to go up to him and tell him that I liked him. But then one day, something just hit me. I thought if I don't do this now, I will always wonder who this one guy was and how he could have changed my life, because I knew he was going to change my life. So I picked up my phone, I called him up, and I told him, "Hi, it's Prachi. I think you're really cute and we should go out."
That call changed the course of our lives. Well, first thing, I also had a big crush on her, but I never had the courage to reach out. Now, when she made that call, I was so impressed. She really made it happen. She liked a guy in college, basically me, and she went forward and made that call. And ever since then, things have been very different, and we are here today because of that call. Right now, pretty early in college, I realized that pharmacy is not something I want to do for the rest of my life. Another thing I also realized is that I want to start my own business. Now, before I start jumping into business, I needed to learn a lot of things. So I joined a startup. I spent 2 years with them. While I was working with them, I realized 2 things. One is that I had a passion for traveling, and the second is that I had a passion for building brands. I took the second one first and gained the confidence and built my own digital marketing and design agency to pursue that passion. And Prachi joined me soon after.
So I graduated in the middle of the pandemic in 2020. I was all set to have a floor level gig at a market research firm that has clients for healthcare and pharmaceutical sector. I probably would have, joined that job, and I wouldn't be standing here if they hadn't revoked my offer letter. So unfortunately, due to the pandemic, I received an email one day that said, "We're sorry, but we can't offer you this job." I was heartbroken, but at the same time, it felt like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. Up until that point in my life, I was just doing what I thought I had to do. I got into a good college, I studied hard to get good grades, I got a good job, a conventional good job, and I thought, that is what life is. But because of them revoking my job offer, it gave me the time to think about what it is that I want to do, not what the world expects me to do. So after a lot of talking with Harsh and figuring out by myself what I want to do, I figured out two things. One, I really want to do something about this travel bug that I have inside of me. And two, I'm good at social media. All of my friends knew it, my parents knew it, I knew it. They would encourage me to go after it, and that's how I ended up learning more about it and at Harsh's company working for him and our clients.
Now, when we started working for our own agency, it was to explore our definition of freedom. Now, freedom to all of you might mean something else. It could be freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom to make your own decisions. For us, freedom meant the power to live life on our own terms. And that's what we went for. Now, when we meet our friends that time and they were talking about their corporate life, they were telling us about planning trips months in advance, uh, taking permission for a very small duration in the year. And that just didn't click with us. How can you give your life's decision to someone else's hand? Another thing we also couldn't get with is the fact that we push things we like to another day in the future. Now, I know all of you out here have something you already know you enjoy doing or have been wanting to do for quite a while now. But you must be thinking, I'll do it once I earn enough money or once I reach my retirement age. Why should we do that? And that's something we always connected with and felt that it's not right. We should just go for it. We should have that freedom to do it right now. And we just went with that, isn't that?
That's right. So that brings us to January 1st of 2021, this year. We started this year in the middle of the Dubai desert writing ATVs. We'd just gotten engaged a month prior and we decided we wanted to take a trip together. Actually, can you believe it? The two of us who love traveling as much as we do, and we had been together for 5 years up until that point, we hadn't taken a single trip together. So Dubai was long pending. When we explored the streets of Dubai, when we had the different foods, when we just, were there in that moment, we realized that we need to do something about the shared passion of us. So when we came back from Dubai, it's a pandemic was going on and we were quarantined in a hotel room for 7 days. And we didn't have anything else to do but think about this idea that we had and think about ways to make it happen. So we decided that we would start a travel blog. Now, to be honest with you, both of us didn't know how to do it, but we went for it and we learned from people who had done it in the past. So, different content creators that we liked and admired, we would see their work, we would get inspired from them, and we found ways to make it happen. And basically, we came out of quarantine having decided on our name, having purchased the domain name, and having made the Instagram page called Two Tickets to Freedom.
Now, once we did all this, we knew, okay, fine, over time we'll grow and it'll become a thing. But we didn't anticipate that we'll grow that fast as we did. Because in just 40 days, we went from 0 followers to 10,000 followers. And within 11 months, just last week, we reached 150,000 followers. Now, that's a huge feat.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, with this increase in our travel blog and the people watching us, we had to balance this out at the same time, figure out how to balance our client work at the agency. Because that's something we are passionate about as well. Now, while we were traveling, we found out multiple ways to do this. There was no way to figure out exactly how, because no one's written it down. If you're travelers, how do you balance your agency life? So we had to multitask. In some scenarios, we were waking up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and taking our task list completely from top to bottom so that we could travel without any hazards. Some days we would take our laptops to the beach, to the mountains. We were taking client calls while we were traveling in the Tempo Traveler. And we used to always hunt for Wi-Fi so that we could make websites for some clients. And that's how it has been for us. Both Prachi and me have always believed that life is going to keep throwing hurdles at you. But you shouldn't be taken back by that. If you have a goal you want to achieve, you need to tackle those hurdles and go for it. We decided that we want to build a life where we have the freedom to take our own decisions. And we didn't want to wait for some magical day to make that happen. We jumped into a deep end of the ocean without any safety nets.
That's absolutely right. So, what are the steps you need to take to become a travel blogger? Is there a list of things you can do, or how does it work, Harsh?
I wish there was a roadmap. There isn't, just saying. Right. So we understood that we wanted to become travel bloggers. That was a bigger goal, but there was no fixed way to get there. What we knew is that we have a passion and we need to work hard towards it. We started by learning. We learned a lot before we even started off. We went to YouTube, followed our favorite creators, and took on a lot of content from various blogs. We understood what is really needed, what is the essence of travel blogging. And then what we understood is that we need to take one single step in that direction every day to make things happen. So on day one, a very simple step, we chose our name to take us to freedom. On day two, we took our Instagram handle. On day three, we purchased our domain name. No rocket science, just a simple step, but will take you closer to your dream. And on day 180, we finally got paid for our travel content.
That's right, guys. It took us less than 6 months to start getting paid with this venture. When we started this off and we learned from the creators that we were learning from, they hadn't achieved anything like this because it took them a few years at least to monetize this passion. And that's what we thought when we started out. We totally underestimated ourselves, Harsh, didn't we?
We underestimated ourselves so much. Now just imagine if we wouldn't take those steps.
I can't even. We wouldn't have all the wonderful experiences that we have had in this past year. I mean, we've traveled more in this year alone than we have in all our time together.
True.
Just last week, we were in Kerala, sipping coconuts on the backwaters of Kumarakam. 2 weeks ago, we were in the middle of the Thar desert, just camping out, the two of us. And 2 months ago, we worked with the biggest company in the world, Amazon, to film a mini travel show that took us to all 4 corners of India. And the best part is that all of these trips were sponsored and we didn't have to spend a single dime.
Now, because the trips are sponsored, we could focus on creating quality content for our audience. And that's what we've been getting support for. And this last year, I think, has been nothing short of a dream life. We've been living our dream life and we're really happy about it. And to think it has all happened because we chose a career where we keep freedom at the forefront.
Similarly for you, I want to ask you, what is this one idea you have had but never got around to it? Maybe you knew it in your childhood and somebody told you can't achieve it. Maybe you just thought of it sitting right here, or maybe you thought of it in quarantine like us. Whatever it is, we want to let you in on a little secret. Both our lives, individually and together as partners, would not be as awesome as it is today if we just kept daydreaming and didn't take a single step in the right direction. Today, you could write the first page of your first book. You could start an Instagram account for your business, and that would be the start of something new. You could write a travel blog like us. Maybe you could write a food blog if that's what you're passionate about. Or you couldn't do blogging at all. Maybe you want to learn how to read and write German. If you look back in a few years, today could have been the day, or maybe the day, that you started a new chapter of your life.
You already know what you're passionate about and you already know what you want to get there in life. True? Now, we're not asking you to radically change your life. All we're telling is that you should take a single step in the direction to achieve your dreams. And that's what will get you there.
So we want to wrap this up by a story by Nirmal Purja, who is an award-winning high-altitude mountain climber. He had this dream of climbing the 14 highest peaks in the world, which are above 8,000 meters, including Mount Everest. And the previous record holder completed it in 7 years. The previous record holder took 7 years to climb all 14 peaks. And Nirmal Purja had the idea of doing it within 7 months. People told him it wasn't possible. How can you do it? But he made it happen. So we want to leave you with a little quote by him, which said, "Sometimes the ideas that you come up with may seem impossible to the rest of the world, but that doesn't mean it's impossible to you." So the idea that you have, the thing that you really want to accomplish, don't wait for anything. Just make it happen today.
Thank you.